What's up? Welcome to Cigar Chat Live. I'm Joe Pasquale. Today we're talking about My Father Cigars, cars, bourbon, and a lot more. What's up? Welcome in. Joe Pasquale here, Copper's Canyon Cigar Chat Live. We're talking My Father Cigars this week. The new Lealtad just dropped. Really big deal. The follow up to the blue, the new Honduran cigar that came out last year. The Lealtad came out just this week, and we're really featuring Jose Ortega from My Father Cigars to join us at some point. We have some surprise guests tonight. They're also going to join us, and I am joined in studio with my good friend Matt Neubauer is here. Thank you, Matt, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
No, really, again, thank you. And we're going to talk about the new cigar. We're going to light it up right now. So the Lealtad, if you've not had it, which there's a good chance you have not, just came out. New Honduran factory, Ecuadorian wrapper, which I want to ask Jose about it because it just says Ecuador. Everywhere I've read, Ecuador, which I don't know if that means Ecuadorian Habano, Ecuadorian Sumatra. I don't think it's Sumatra because I feel like they would have said that in the press release. I feel like it's Habano or Habano Maduro, but we will find out. My initial reaction, I smoked one of these Toros yesterday, is, and Matt, I want your opinion too. It's very different from the blue. When you light it up, it just tastes like a My Father cigar. And I think the most thing that stands out to me is when you smoke the blue, the My Father blue, it's so different. So different. When you smoke this, it tastes like My Father, like an OG My Father, like a thing that you're used to, like a used to My Father. And I had a friend of mine, a friend of ours, Rungi, smoked this today, and he's like, "I love this. It's a great cigar. It's a great cigar." I said, "That's out of the Honduran factory." Like, no, it's not. Like, it is. He goes, "It tastes like a Fonseca. It tastes like a Fonseca." I was like, "No, it's out of the Honduran factory." So I'll be interested to hear your opinion of it. You're smoking the Gordo. I'm smoking the Toro. We got these lit up. We're gonna smoke.
Well, I love first of all, you picked a great size for me. I love the Gordo size. You're right. It does. My Father written all over it, but it's just looking at it, it's gorgeous. And I'm one of those guys who, you give me a shiny, good looking band, nice color combination that might sell it on its own. But just the construction of that is solid, and it's a gorgeous color. That tobacco is that's like my sweet spot of favorite color.
No, it's picturesque. The bands look great. My father always kills it with the packaging, the boxes, the bands. We have the boxes on sale on the website. Show you right here. Boom, boom, boom. So, box of the Robustos. We got Gordos out there, and we'll talk about that limited stuff in a little bit. But they're in stores right now. So if you go to a Copper Canyon, we have Robusto, Toro Gordo in the stores currently. So go find the new My Father, and comments and questions, hit us up tonight. You want to talk about the new My Father, the old My Father stuff? We carry plenty of it. It's out there. Let's talk about our whiskey. And Kale, again, if any point Jose jumps in, let us know. We'll get Mr. Ortega on. I know he's traveling, but he wants to talk about his blends. Whiskey of the week this week.
Whiskey of the week.
There it is. There's our awesome imaging. Old Forester single barrel. It's a barrel pick for our friends at Barrel Proof Liquors. Again, Barrel Proof does all of our stuff here on the channel, all of our picks, all of our stuff that we're drinking. So this is their barrel pick over at Barrel Proof. So right off Lima Road, Copper Mine Passage here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Great deals. If you go in there, tell them you saw the channel. Chat with the guys there. They'll probably give you a discount. If they don't, sorry, but they probably will. So this thing comes at 130 proof. It is a barrel pick. It's probably hot. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, that's nice.
Very nice.
Got some body to it. Got a lot going on.
It does,
but not a little bit burn in the back end, but not crazy.
Not for 130 proof. I thought it would be a lot a lot hotter than that, but that's nice.
Yeah, drinks like a 126.
Solid.
Yeah, solid. Really good pick from those guys over there. So check it out. They have bottles of barrel proof liquors. So check out their Old Forester bad pick. Old Forester across the board, great bourbon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they have so many. I mean, anywhere from $40 to $100, you really find a good range of Old Forester bourbon.
Yeah, got a great range, and none of them disappointing.
No,
I mean they're all good.
No, always really good. So again, Lealtad, we're talking about. Again, just dropped the PCA. Really, really cool cigar. You're gonna see a lot of it this year. A lot of it because last year the blue was so big, and my father made so many big waves with it. I feel like this is gonna be the new hottest thing for a while in the industry, and a great cigar.
Yeah, from Light Up, it's outstanding.
So I know before Jose jumps on, before we talk about other stuff, we're gonna talk about cars tonight. So automobiles, and Matt I know loves automobiles and cars. I'm not a huge car guy. I'll say I own a car. You know, I keep up with cars. I'm not a big car nerd, but I do appreciate them. So anybody out there in the media universe that wants to chime in, please do. Matt, one big thing we're going to talk about tonight is, cars you've owned, cars you want to own. So quickly, before we get into like our cars we really want to own, Matt, what would be like your top 3 cars you've owned in your life, like that you've actually owned that you go back on and go, that's the cars I like.
Like my favorite, my favorites would be the older ones. Not always the most practical nowadays. I love, Honda's great. Lexus is bulletproof. Those are wonderful. But as far as stuff where I actually enjoy driving and like really love, the first test would have to be a 65 Mustang.
Sounds like a great car.
That was a great car. That was an awesome car. It was the first car I bought with my money. Got a picture of it up. That's not exactly mine, but it's damn close. I did not have that hood scoop on the top. It was a straight 6. Not the sexiest motor, but I tell you what, you could work on that so easily. I replaced the starter in that car without even crawling under the vehicle.
Really?
It was 3 bolts. It was so just amazing to work on.
30 miles to the gallon.
Oh yeah.
13.
Remember though, in their defense, gas was a quarter back in the day,
right?
So we weren't worried about it. No, that was great. Super easy to work on.
So is that your favorite, or is that number 3?
That's my favorite.
That's your favorite.
I started off strong.
All right.
We could have.
No, that's fine. Fine. All right. So what's your number 2?
Number 2, my favorite one I've ever owned has been a 68 Cadillac Calais. And I found that here locally. That is almost exactly the car right there.
That's a boat.
That is a boat. I found it on a car lot here. Talked to the guy for months. So we worked a deal. And then he had a body shop guy he was trying to keep afloat. Okay. And we worked a great deal on a repaint. So I found, what was it, at the time, a 40-year-old car with 32,000 miles on it.
Wow.
And they shot it for me, resprayed it. We tracked down the original white vinyl top, had that replaced. Just gorgeous vehicle.
That's awesome. Again, tonight, if you guys want to comment what your favorite car you've owned is, and we'll read them out loud. Kay will let us know people's favorite cars. We'll give away some gift cards and some 5-packs tonight. So comment, like, subscribe. And when you comment, give us your favorite car you've owned, make, model. We want to hear about your cars tonight. We want to hear about this fun stuff because everybody's owned a car, multiple cars, especially at our age.
Absolutely.
And we have some lemons. We have some fun stuff. We have some stuff that we all own that we loved but weren't the most reliable vehicles, but we loved them because of what they were. So we're going to talk about cigars and cars tonight because why not? Yeah, why not?
Absolutely.
All right, your number 3 car.
Number 3 is kind of a tie. I cheated. I did 3 and 4.
That's fine.
Number 3 was a Triumph Spitfire, 78 Spitfire. I bought in good condition, but it was the car that I learned to paint on.
Okay.
So I stripped that down, took everything out of it, took the seats out, I mean, we gutted it and shot it, and pretty proud of that.
Does that look like your car?
That is my car.
Wait,
That
what?
is my car. That is
your car.
Yes, that is my car right there.
Okay.
I still had work to do on the wheels. I didn't shoot the wheels, but that is Spicy Merlot from
Spicy
the
Merlot.
Barrett Jackson collection. It was close to the original burgundy color, but it's got a little bit of metallic in it.
Sure.
Make it pop a little more, those modern colors. I ended up selling that to a buddy of mine's cousin in New York, who my understanding is he makes his own cheese and guitars.
That's a great. I mean, we could do a podcast about that guy.
We probably
makes
could.
his own
That guy
cheese
sounds-
and guitars.
I was happy to sell it to him. That guy sounds cool as hell to me.
His name had to be Chad.
That is the car for a dude like that, right?
Yeah, his name was Chad. And he made his own cheese and
no
guitars.
idea what his name
Probably,
was, but
yeah.
Just the Triumph reliability got me finally.
Wow.
So
okay. So what was your tie then?
And speaking of reliability, the bulletproof car that I absolutely adore driving is the 1997 Crown Victoria.
Okay. So I wanted to bring that up because for those that don't know, Mr. Matthew Neubauer with us tonight is also a Fort Wayne police officer. And when you're a police officer, reliability, your vehicle is a big deal, right?
Cost. This was not this exact car, obviously, but the 1997 Crown Victoria was my first issued take-home squad car. So I put about 100,000 miles on that thing. And the thing I like about it, not only are they easy to fix, parts are cheap and available, but when you've put, 6 figures on an odometer, you feel, and at high speeds, stress conditions, I feel like I know that car inside and out. I mean, I can feel what it's going to do before it does it. And so on a road trip or anything like that, it's just hopefully not a false sense, but you get such a sense of confidence in what you're driving, what the capabilities are, what it will and won't do.
So what's the engine on the Crown Vic? When we talk about police and having to chase people down, getting things quickly, engine, getting there quick. Crown Vic, pretty quick car because it doesn't look that quick.
They don't look that quick.
It looks like a sedan that's like meh.
4.6 V8.
Okay. V8.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
V8 rear wheel drive. And they handled well. They were pretty quick. And the nice thing is at higher speeds, they're smooth in the highway. I mean, it might not be your 0 to 60 top runner, but once you're there, I mean, 60 and 90 was nothing and comfortable. And again, handles great around town. It's good. And folks like them because they can put 300,000 miles on them. I mean, forget the police industry as a testimony, but when New York City got rid of the Metropolitans and went to Crown Vics for taxi cabs, there's
a reason why.
There's a reason.
There's a reason why. It's cost effective. Again, tonight we're talking about My Father Cigars. The Law of the Lealtad just came out. I'm smoking the Toro right here. Oh, Jose is on. All right, let's bring Jose in. So Jose Ortega is joining us via either audio and or video. So Jose is traveling, so he said join us right now. Let's bring Jose in. There he is.
What's going on, gentlemen?
Jose, what's up, dude?
Not much, brother. Not much. Can you hear me well? Yeah.
We can hear you great.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, no, I actually stopped at a friend's to so that we wouldn't be on the road. I was a little bit scared of the whole Wi-Fi, not obviously the signal. So I wanted to make sure that we had no problem with the signal.
They're good, man. So where were you at today? Earlier, and then where are you at now? Give us a little bit of insight.
We were in Chicago. We started out in Chicago, and we're headed to Detroit. So as we were stopping, we happened to be driving by over at my friend's Darren from Karma, and then just made a quick pit stop so I can jump on and comfortably speak with you guys.
That's great. Darren, everybody up there at Karma, they're great people. Thanks for joining us tonight. We are smoking the Law of the Lealtad. You could probably pronounce it better than what are you smoking right now, actually? What are you smoking?
Well, I knew that this would be the topic that we would be discussing. So I went ahead and grabbed one of the La Lealtad and lit one up myself.
Awesome. Are you smoking the Toro, the Gordo, the Robusto? What do you have? What are you smoking? What size?
Robusto.
Oh, Robusto. Okay. Fantastic. So we were talking the blend earlier. Everything I've seen online, Ecuador, obviously the Honduran factory. The wrapper. Can you tell me more about the wrapper on this new cigar?
Well, this is a Habano Rosado,
Okay.
which, as you know, from Ecuador, we love using the Habano. So the binders are from Honduras, and that's why you see that as far as flavor is concerned, you get a lot of that rich, sweetness that's coming out of that, and it's that Honduras tobacco, man. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
No, it's fantastic. And the weirdest thing for me was I smoked. This is my third one of these this week. Is, in my opinion, it's so different than the blue. So different. And the minute I lit it up the other day, it just felt like a My Father cigar, which, again, I love the blue. I love the blue so much. But when I smoke the blue, it doesn't feel like a normal My Father cigar. When I smoke this, for me personally, it hit and I went, oh, my father. How does that translate to you? Do you feel that at all or not really?
Well, no, listen, one of the things that we were worried about, right? When you're introducing a cigar, any brand, your biggest concern is is it the right time, right? And for us, the My Father Blue, being another cigar from Honduras, and having the incredibly successful launch that we did with that cigar, because I mean it's insane, right? And I know that we started shipping it back in July of last year, and it hasn't stopped. And you know, from my lips to God's ears, it I hope it never stops. I am happy with the fact that it's just going nuts. But you worry about two things: is the new one going to stump the flow of the one that you have now, or the opposite, which is that one's so strong that people are going to overlook the new release? And let me tell you, man, this is holding its own ground. I mean, La Lealtad is so different, that it's I think it's going to have a space of its own. It's a little bit stronger than the blue, obviously, but like the blue, I mean, remember the blue's got the broadleaf wrapper, so it's going to have a completely different profile as far as the flavor is concerned. But like you said, there are some similarities, right? That undertone sweetness that I get on there, almost like a fruity taste that I get, and it shares that with the blue, right? So it's pretty interesting. You know, I'm going to tell you something that people laugh at me when I say this, but I take and now I'm gonna mess with everybody's mind, because now everybody's going to start looking for it. But man, I taste raisins. About halfway
Really?
into the cigar, I taste a little bit of that sweet raisin taste, which is rare.
It's got a lot going on, and I think for you guys as a company, I mean, the blue. Anybody that love My Father, they're gonna try the blue no matter what. A lot of people I sold on the cigar were not My Father fans. They tried the blue, they became fans of it. And you got to tell a story. Oh well, Nicaragua, Honduras, this or that. But anybody that loved the blue, immediately they're gonna try the Lealtad, and then they're gonna go from there and decide what they think. And I think, in a way, the people that might have been more of a fan of the OG My Father stuff, the La Bijou, El Palencia, La Grana Fuerte, whatever it is, I go, hey, in my opinion, if you're a fan of like that Don Pipe Blue, that La Bijou, the Judge, especially, try this. Please try this, especially if you're a Judge fan. Like, I have friends like, oh, I love the Judge. Should I try the new one? I'm like, 100%. Like, if the Judge is your portfolio, and maybe the blue was too light for you or too different for you, you're a Judge guy, you're a La Bijou guy, I think this is going to hit.
I agree with you 100%. Especially on the Retro Hill, you get that's where you really notice that it's that much stronger than the blue. but it's not as strong as the Judge. So I think if you want something as far as similarities, as far as the actual taste, from the cigar, and you like the Judge, you definitely want to smoke this, uh, without it being as strong as the Judge. Because a lot of times people don't realize that when they first light up the Judge, it's a very full body cigar.
Yeah.
I like to call it the creeper because you don't because of the amount of flavor that's going on with that cigar and the complexity of it. You don't realize you're getting hit until you finish smoking and you go to get up and you're like, oh, wait a minute, oh, I feel a little lightheaded, and it's not like the Levijoux, which is Levijoux is in your face, right? It's got that pepper
Right.
that
Up front, it's
kicks
there.
in. Yeah,
That
yeah,
problem, it's there. It's there.
yeah,
Yeah.
right off the gate. Yes, yes. But
The same thing.
I'm
Like
telling you,
when
you're
you
gonna
like
love this.
the Fonseca MX, there's San Andreas stuff you guys do. It's in your face. It's there. You're right. That Lebedew, the Judge, like the Judge is that Sumatra, which like reminds me again. Well, it's the same wrapper. The Cahono 12 Sumatra, the seventh cap that Tatawahe does.
Yep.
It sneaks up on you because it's got that body. There's that sweetness, and then all of a sudden you go, oh, there's a lot going on with that cigar after I smoke it for a bit. Whereas the San Andreas stuff, the broadleaf stuff, just hits you right off the bat.
Yep.
And this cigar, I feel like this is my third one. It's so balanced all the way through. The flavor is there. It just stays. It's there. It doesn't go away. It hits you, but like it doesn't get up. It doesn't go way down. It's just there. But it's really good.
Well, and when you point that out, you're 100% correct. So because it stays there, it's also a cigar that look, you can smoke one now, and when you're done, you can go, okay, let me grab another one and smoke it right now. Not a lot of cigars for me anyway.
No.
I will smoke back to back, right? The blue is one of those that I will. So it's enough flavor, but not overpowering that you don't feel like getting any more of it, right? It's like eating too much ice cream, right? You as much as you love the ice cream, you go, damn it, it's too much. I can't do another cup. But here you can light another one up and still enjoy it. And so it's just the right amount of flavor, without being overly flavorful.
No, I agree. And the first thing I thought was, I smell the Toro. What are all the sizes available right now for this cigar?
So you got the Toro Gordo, the Robusto, and the Box Rest Torpedo.
Okay. And in my mind, I'm like, we need a Lonsdale of this blend. Like, we need like a Lonsdale. Like, we do. We need like a Cazadore size of this cigar because it would hit. Oh, it would hit.
Yeah, listen. I agree with you. I wish to all of you that are out there, I think we need to start buying more of those sizes, Lanceros, Coronas, and so forth, so that we can, as manufacturers, we can produce more of them. I'm a huge fan of the smaller ring gauges, but yeah, unfortunately, sales wise, everybody tends to go to the bigger ring gauges.
No,
You know what I
no,
mean?
you're,
That's
you're
what everybody
exactly right.
wants.
And again, I ran the guys this week at the shop, and they were like, "Oh man, I would love this cigar in a Corona Gorda. Why don't you carry this in Corona Gorda?" I go, "Is what it is, man. Like people buy Robusto, Toro, Gordo, and a lot more Gordos than you think. I love that
Yep.
cigar too in a Lonsdale. I love that cigar in a Corona Gorda, but people aren't going to buy it. And the guy that comes in and says, "You got to carry this on Lancero. Buy a box, please."
Yeah,
Please buy a
exactly.
box of those Lanceros because I would love those, but they don't. They want one
Yeah.
or two, and that's how
Yeah.
it goes. So going back, Jose, we've known each other for a few years. Tell me about your start with My Father and your cigar career to now.
So I started in the industry at the same time that the Garcias and Pete did with Tatuaje. So we all started in 2003. I started with a company called Puros Indios. So it was Rolando Reyes cigars, and I was there until 2010 when I actually had the opportunity to meet Pepin, Jaime, and Gianni. and at an event. You remember the old CI Fest, Cigar Fest, and
Yep.
we met. We got to talking, and man, I fell in love with the family. I wasn't looking for a job. I wasn't trying to interview for a job. We were just having conversations, and one thing led to the other, and we. I remember we flew out the next morning at 6 a.m. out of Philly, and it happens to be that I was somehow ended up sitting in between Janny and Jaime, and so Jaime and I picked up our conversation from the night before, and we just kept talking. And if you talk to Janny, she'll tell you these two drove me nuts. It was two, it's a 2.5, I think 3 hour flight, and we just talk the whole time. All she wanted. I mean, think about it. 6 o'clock in the morning. All she wants to do is go to sleep, right? So I'm pretty sure that the whole plane hated Jaime and I that day because we just kept talking. Uh, but it was interesting conversation. We were talking about how I perceive things and what is it that I was doing at the other company. So maybe from Jaime's point of view, he was interviewing me. I don't know, but shortly after that, they reached out to me. We got to talking, and they asked me if I wanted to come in and run their sales team. They were at a point that they needed to go to the next level, and they felt that I was the person to help them accomplish that. And so one thing led to the other, and 16 years later, here I am.
That's awesome. And again, we on the website right now, we don't have many boxes left. They're in all stores right now. The Lealtad. And then we only have one of these left, Jose, as you know, probably. The Dom Pepin Black 20th anniversary box. We ordered a handful of these, but we sold most of them. So this is the last one. It's on the website right now. So go to shop.coppercane.tobacconist. It's got the limited edition cutter in it. You can find the picture out on the website. Tell us about this blend, because we talked at the trade show. It's gorgeous. It's out there. This is my last box. And honestly, if it's out there until midnight, I'll probably buy it myself. But it's there. So tell us about that blend.
Well,
the new Dom Pepin.
listen, I would tell you what, I know you're there to sell it to somebody else, but if not, buy it. I bought mine already. Like all of the limited editions that we have, it has the famed pelo de oro, right? The hair of gold. And if anybody that's ever been to our factory knows when Pepin grabs the pelo de oro and he allows you to smell it, it has a beautiful molasses aroma and molasses taste. So it's just such an incredible cigar. It's a 6.5 by 52, which is our traditional limited edition, size that we make, that we use only on the limited editions. And look, we were trying to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the release of that brand, right? Which the Cuban Classic came out in 2006. So I always tell people, I said, for me, the limited editions are always the easiest ones to sell, because all I do is I go, think about it. Pepin's celebrating his 20th anniversary of this brand. Do you not think he's going to make the best cigar possible? And they go, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So the packaging is beautiful on that cigar. Everything about it. I smoked one last night and at the event up in Chicago, and man, it just blew my mind. I love it because it's a blend that most cigars, I can tell you, it tastes, it's sweet, chocolate, coffee, creamy. This is a blend that's just true tobacco, man. I don't get a lot of the sweets, the sweetness to it, and it's not overpowering. It's obviously pelo de oro. We aged 3 years. I get the molasses taste to it, but overall, it's just true tobacco, man. So it's a very enjoyable, very meaty, and it generates a lot of smoke in your mouth. So it's such a pleasure to smoke.
No, I mean, it looks fantastic. Again, we have one box left. Oh, Kale says we have someone from the audience. We out there, Kale.
We have John Snell says, "What's going on, Jose?"
What's happening?
Snell says, "What's up?"
Yeah. Good friend, good guy. What's happening?
I think he's okay. He's an okay guy. The other thing I want to pitch out on the website tonight, which is My Father related, we do have a couple boxes of the La Union I've been holding on to. Look at this freaking thing. So I've never smoked any of these, the blacks. We have 2 full boxes of the blacks. They're on the website. And we have them broken up to a full box and an 8-pack. The deal we're running on the website, if you buy an 8-pack, which you're getting 4 Tatawahes, 4 My Fathers, you're getting a free Tatawahe 5-pack on the website tonight. If you buy the entire box, which comes with the humidor, limited edition cutter, you're getting 5 Tatawahe 5-packs for free. I'm going to show everybody what this looks like. So it's really heavy. It's got this velvet thing on it. It's this whole thing. Jose knows what I'm talking about. This is a thing.
It's a collaboration, right, between Tatuaje and Pete. As a matter of fact, the cutter that comes with it, I love the design, the logo that we did for it, because it shows the hand of Pepin over Pete Johnson's hand and Jaime, almost like blessing the union, right? So both like all of our limited editions, it has the Pelo de Oro on it as well, and each one is an interpretation from one is from Jaime and the other one is from Pete. So that look, if I have to spend the money on a box, if I have to spend the money on a cigar, that is definitely the one that I would do. 100%.
So
that serves as a
there's the
humidor
box
as well.
open. LE cutter, and you have the 20 My Fathers, the 20 Tatawahes, 40 cigars. So in the deal we're running through the end of the week, if you buy this box, you're getting 5 free 5-packs from Tatawahe. So you're like 25 free cigars, and it's a humidor.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean it's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah.
So I'll tell you a funny story.
Please.
I'll tell you a funny story, since you were asking me about my beginnings with the company. When I first started with the company, I had gone 2-3 months with a pulmonary infection, right? So I had water in my lungs, the whole works. And I started on July 1st of 2010. And I had just gotten clearance from the doctor to go to be able to smoke again. So I walk into the office, and Pepin was the first person that I actually came across when I walked in. And so I said, hello, hug, the whole works. And and I said to Pepin, Pepin, no, he says to me, he says, hey, if you want anything to smoke, feel free. I hadn't smoked a cigar in 3 months. So I looked for the smallest cigar that I could find, and not really knowing the brands, right? I chose the Le Bijou Petit Robusto.
Okay.
This is first thing in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. I grab a Petit, yeah. So not knowing the brand, I chose it by its size, right? And I go, yeah, this is a little easy. Man, when I took the first 2 puffs out of that cigar, I felt it in my chest. It's a little firecracker. So
no, it is. It's fantastic cigar.
But that was the very first My Father cigar that I ever smoked.
Wow. So I know you guys gotta get out of here tonight. So this year, going ahead, what's on the docket for My Father Cigars? What do you got? Again, you just dropped 2 new cigars. What's going forward for My Father this year?
Look, you guys can expect we're gonna have we wanted to do something special for Father's Day, so we created a limited edition or limited production My Father sampler that's going to be coming out. I can't talk about the details just yet, but we should be getting them in Miami pretty soon, and then we'll start revealing. But you guys can be on the lookout for that. We're still working out exactly how we want to present it, right? As far as I, my understanding is that our initial or the initial idea was we're gonna do the sampler with an ashtray, with one of the melamine ashtrays and so forth. But
Okay.
to do like a little My Father Father's Day package. But I haven't been in the office, so I haven't been able to finalize that as of yet. So well, we should possibly start promoting them next week.
Okay.
And then as far as we started working on the new projects from Honduras. We're already working for next year's release. For the Honduras, we will have a new release out of Nicaragua as well. So we got some things in the pipeline that we're going to be working on. Not I hate to say it, not ready to talk about them just yet, but we've already started, because if the acceptance and the release goes like the last two that we've done, then we gotta start working on it now.
You probably have to. No, you definitely have to. I'm going to shout out my brother-in-law, Mike Trogdon, veteran, big golfer. Apparently, he won his last two tournaments, and he is probably the biggest My Father / Chatawahe fan I know. He bought both the new boxes, the
Nice.
black, and just because I said, hey, they're new. And he says they're both great. So let's give a little shout out to Mike Trogdon out there. Yay.
Absolutely.
I mean, this guy.
We love Mike, but you know what? He's going to be very happy with him. Both are incredible, and all three cigars are very different. So yeah, he's gonna enjoy it. The good thing is you said he's your brother-in-law, correct?
Yes.
So I'm assuming that you, being the phenomenal brother-in-law that you are, you're going to partake and assist him in consuming the
I'll
cigars.
try to. Yeah. He was like, hey, I love the new Don Pepin anniversary. I was like, that's great. I haven't smoked it yet. So it's the other way. He buys it from me. I'm like, hey, you need to send me back cigars, actually, because I'm selling you cigars that I haven't had yet. But he trusts me, and we send him plenty of freebies. My twin sister Amanda and her husband Mike, they smoke a lot of My Father and Chatawahe. A lot of it. They're nerds about the cigar game. So yeah.
Well,
they're good.
without sounding, because it truly does not come from a place of arrogance. It actually comes from a very humble place. I will say this much. People ask me where my father is today, and I said, when you meet Pepin, when you meet Jaime, when you meet Johnny, they're all about quality, and they're all about giving the best, right? To them, it's like the cigar is almost like their business card, right? So they got to make sure that it's represented very well. So we're at a spot now that I think every cigar that's coming out of that factory, and again, I'm coming from a very humble place, dude, it's coming out very, very good, right? So
Yes.
even if you smoke one of our cigars and it's not your cup of tea, you're never disappointed that you smoked it. You don't say, damn it, I can't believe I spent 10, 12, you never say that. You may say, liked it, not my cup of tea. Let me go back to, what I normally smoke, but you won't be disappointed that you smoked it. And that's, and I think that's where, that's a great way to explain. And I didn't come up with that, by the way. That was actually someone at an event a couple of weeks ago said that to me. He goes, I've never been, because they said it to me. They go, I've pretty much smoked everything that you guys make. And he goes, the one thing I can tell you is I've never been disappointed that I smoked at My Father Cigar. Says, I may not buy it again because it may be not, I'll go back to and this guy was a diehard, Don Pepin Blue, which he was a guy after my own heart, because to me, I've always said Don Pepin Blue, the original, is my favorite cigar. That is the one cigar that's in my rotation that I smoke the most. Oh, man, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Is that even a question? Of course, the Lancero, bro.
It's of course Lancero. The Lancero is like the OG Lancero. When you talk about Lanceros in the industry, you're like, it's the Don Pepin Blue Lancero is like the Hall of Fame Lancero that we hang our hat on. Like, this is fucking cigars. Like if you want to smoke a Nicaraguan cigar, this is it. There's nothing else.
Dude, and I'll tell you something. When I came to work with the company, I was a big ring gauge guy. As a matter of fact, the Jaime Garcia Super Gordo was something that I asked myself and my Florida rep. We asked Joaquin, we asked Jaime to make, right? And it took us a lot to get him to make that cigar because they didn't want to go any bigger than 60. And we said, bro, just make it. And I remember Jaime telling me, he says, I'll tell you what, I bugged him enough that he says, I'm gonna make it. When it fails, you stick to selling cigars, all right, and I'll stick to making the cigars. And so I remember calling all of my reps after that meeting with Jaime, and I called every single one of them. I said, "This is what's coming, and you guys better make sure that it is the number one selling Jaime Garcia. Because if this works, he's going to listen to all the other things that we recommended and suggest." And man, my guys went crazy. But and as you know, that's of all the Jaime Garcia after Toro, that is the best-selling Jaime Garcia that we make. And but the point of the story is, when I came to work with the company, I was a big ring gauge guy, right? That's all I smoked was big ring gauge. And bro, it was Pepin who taught me to bring it down and learn to enjoy it. As a matter of fact, when you smoke a Lancero, you have to smoke it very differently than you do a big ring gauge cigar, right? So I'm puffing, and Pepin goes, "Whoa, slow it down. Just slow it down. Take easy puffs, let it sit there, blow it out." And because I was smoking through them quick, because I was just puffing out. And he taught me to have an appreciation for those sizes. 100%. It was Pepin who taught me how to smoke a Lancero.
No, that's what and it's hard because again, like our big ring age James are such big sellers, and you want guys to go, "Hey, try this," but guys won't at a lot of stores. Yeah, put in somebody's hand, going, "Dude, really, really try this." But like the 660s, the big bellies, like they just sell. Which again, I'm not gonna stop a cigar it's selling. It's hard though, because once you get customers in that realm, get them to try like a Lonsdale, Corona Gorda, Lancero is really, really hard.
It is. Well, it's even look, when you smoke a big ring gauge, it even becomes very difficult, right? You don't even know how to keep it in your mouth, because it's a different feel. It's like anything else. So, but and I don't take anything away from it. Look, I smoked the Jaime 7x70 the other day, and man, I didn't realize how great that cigar could really be, right? And it just has so much flavor. So I understand why somebody smokes a 7x70. I understand why they smoke a 60 ring gauge. But Pepin is a master at the Lancero. So anytime we have a Lancero, whether it be La Promesa, whether it be the My Father Lancero, whether it be the original blue, anytime I have an opportunity to smoke one of our Lanceros, I'm always going to take it, my friend, because they're just rolled right.
No, they are. They do fantastic jobs. So before we let you out of here tonight, so again, new stuff for My Father this year. My one question would be, with My Father, to balance it out, because you've had so much success in the Honduran factory, and obviously Nicaraguan factory's always been killing it. What's the goal for My Father going forward? Is it like 50-50? They're trying to do stuff like, well, they can find blends over here in Nicaragua. Like, what's going to land at?
Everything that's being made in Nicaragua is going to stay being made in Nicaragua. The factory in Honduras will only be making all new projects, so it's going to all new brands. Again, it gives us an opportunity now to play with the new tobaccos. I know that the Garcias just purchased some additional farms in Honduras, so yeah, it's just going to be all new projects coming out of there.
Okay. Also, not your company, but the Tatawahe Series P Honduras has been massive in this territory. So that short filler cigar out of Honduras has been crazy. Are you guys seeing the reflex of that?
100%. It's doing extremely well for him. Yes. He's
So are we
he's
gonna
having
see a
very good
My
success.
Father Baez H?
Maybe.
Baby, why not? Right?
Dude, I think it'd be an excellent. That's a great idea, actually.
Oh,
I think
thank you.
I
Then
think it'd be a
market me
great
for
idea.
that. Like My Father Baez H, we're gonna do that, and we're gonna sell 4 sizes of it.
That would be interesting. Look, that might even be like a special size that we throw in there, right? So you have the other 3, and then here's a special 4th size or something. Out of something to think about.
I mean, you have to use the tobacco, right?
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
All right. Well, we'll let you get out of here. Jose, thank you for your time tonight. Again. So is Mike there with you? Is Prowlis with you? Is he nearby?
Yeah, he's here.
Get Mike in the camera or something. Where's Mike at? Oh, Jose's walking.
He's relaxing.
Well, there he is.
There's our guy.
So there's Mike Prowlis. He essentially runs Cigars to the Midwest for a lot of companies you love. He's just hanging out. Yep. He does hate that. Yeah.
He's
Connection.
Listen.
Yeah.
This week, as he says, he's my he says he's my Uber driver, and I go, well, I don't know about that, but yeah. So he gets to chauffeur around, and but listen, we love Mike. Mike does a phenomenal job for us around, and I don't think there's a person that does not know Mike Perales. I probably and that's not to take away from all the other reps that are out there, including my own, but man, he has to be the hardest working representative of any in this industry. He doesn't stop. He's like the Energizer Bunny, man.
No, he never stops. I 100% agree with you. Kale, what's out there from the interwebs before we get Jose out of here?
We have Alan Martin jumped on and said, well, that's something awesome about Cigar Chat. I learned that Jaime Garcia cigars are part of the My Father Cigar family.
There you go. Yes, sir. 100%. So, as a matter of fact, the Jaime Garcia, in my opinion, being a full body cigar because of the broadleaf wrapper that it has on there, has again a lot of that sweeter notes, which people like, right? It's got a lot of that chocolate and sweetness to it. So, but man, that is top 5 selling cigars for us.
Wow.
It used to be, listen, it used to be higher, and then we introduced the My Father Blue, and that kind of put everything down. I'm telling you, the craziness with the My Father Blue is insane. It's an insanity, but I count my blessings.
The blue's crazy. I mean, I would imagine like La Bijou and Connecticut are still like namesakes, right? They have to be everywhere.
Listen, La Bijou, the My Father Connecticut, the Flor de las Antillas is still, remember it was number 1 cigar of the year in 2012, and the Flor de las Antillas still rocks. The only thing that's ever beat the Flor de las Antillas, believe it or not, is the My Father Blue.
Wow.
It's the Flor de las Antillas has been king, all these years, and here came My Father Blue and dethroned it. So I know that after this, people are going to go, for those who have not tried it, they're going to go nuts to go and looking for the My Father Blue. And I'm probably making it even worse for us, but it's amazing, bro. It's amazing.
All right. Before we let you off, we need your top 3 answers, Jose. What's the best 3 cars you've ever owned?
Well, number 1 is the one that I own now, which is my Ford Raptor. I don't want to change it for anything. And I know the guys who own the Ram are probably not agreeing with me on there, right? But I love my Raptor, so that's number 1. Another favorite of mine, dude. I'm gonna tell you, my very first car was a 1976 Ford Granada, the Sport Edition. I had the 2-door version. Had a big old hole in the back behind the driver's seat on the floor. My dad had to cut a piece of wood to cover it up, and And you remember back in those days. I don't. How old are you, by the way? Just out of curiosity.
All right. So I'm about to be 40. My buddy in the studio is a little bit older than me, so he'll probably remember more than I am, but I remember
Okay.
pretty old cars.
All right. So but I'm going to reference to something that you probably never saw. Back in the days, I'm 54. So back when I was a kid, it was a normal practice to actually have carpeting or rug in the bathrooms, believe it or not, in the
Yeah.
bathrooms.
Oh, yeah.
So my dad actually took the carpeting that was on the that was on that was in our bathroom and actually cut it into the pieces to cover the floor of my 1976 Ford Granada to cut so that it would cover the piece of wood that he had on there, bro. So it was very shaggy, right? So I had shaggy carpeting on my car,
That's awesome.
but let me tell you, it was one of my favorite cars, and only because it's in my top, it's in my list only because it was my first car, and when all my buddies were getting Mustangs and other things, and they laugh at mine, I always said, you know what? But I'm getting to the same place as you, bro. Point A to point B. So, and I loved it. I loved it. But and outside of that, I did have a 2000. Oh my God, what year was it? 2001, I think. Uh, Nissan Maxima SE, and that was a cool car, bro. I love that car. It was a stick shift. Was it 2001? Maybe it was a little older than that. But anyway, and it was a sports car, man. It was a four-door sports car, and I loved it. I did have a Z24 that I when I was in high school, um, that I enjoyed. I loved. You know what I mean? And so that, man, I haven't had the super cool cars that a lot of people have, or you
Sure.
probably say, but these were fun. These were fun cars for me.
No, I'm in the same boat as you are. All right. So Jose, before you get out of here, what's the one car from growing up or even now you're like, I wish I owned that car? In your 20s or 30s, like a car you're like, I want to own that car. What's the car you really want to own?
Dude, I would have to say, uh, as silly as it may sound, a Lamborghini Countach, an old school
Of
Countach,
course.
bro. Come on. Every one of us as a kid, you went into the toy shop and you bought the little Hot Wheel version of it. You know what I mean? And it was just the coolest car that you had in your collection. So if I had the opportunity to pick one up, I probably I probably would. I probably would
All
buy
right,
one.
well, let's sell some more My Father cigars. Jose, you and Mike
Oh,
get on
yeah,
the
yeah.
road. Thanks for being with us tonight. Do you want to say anything else to the audience before we get out of here?
Well, listen, I just want everybody to know that, and I know that I speak for the Garcia family when I say that we truly appreciate every single one of you for the support. All I can say is we're gonna, our promise to you is that we're gonna continue to work diligently to, make the best cigars that we can and work with the best materials. And the family's very innovative. And the beautiful thing for us is that, you know, now we're at a point now where the third generation is coming into play, right? And so I have Joseph Garcia that's working with me on the sales side, and you know, so you guys will probably, we'll have to set up some event. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Um,
Woo!
so tell me that's not sexy, bro. Tell me that's not a
No,
sexy car.
of course it's sexy, but like you as a kid, you're like, yeah, I want one of those. Yeah, I also want a Batmobile. Like that's a crazy
Yeah.
freaking car. Like, of course I
Well,
want one of those. In my mind, I'm like,
listen,
I want a BMW M5. Like you're like, I want a Lambo or a Maserati. Like, of course you do, Jose. That sounds cool.
yeah. Well, listen, I bought my wife. I mean, it probably should have been on my list. I bought my wife a the X7 from BMW, and I like it because it's an SUV, but I got her the 8-cylinder, so which, by the way, waste of money because she never uses it. She drives like an
Right,
old lady,
she doesn't get up and go. She's just cruising
bro.
55 the whole time. She's not using that
Bro,
8-cylinder.
let me tell you. Let me tell you. When I get in that car and I drive it, which is not often because I like driving my truck, but when I do, that car is so thankful to me because I just
It gets to use the engine. It gets to release. It's like, thank you, Jose, for driving the car today. Please, thank you for driving me.
it's the only time that car sees the sports mode ever. It's when I get in it. So it really appreciates me a lot. But anyway, back to back to what I was saying. I just, it's our commitment, man. It's our commitment to you guys. And as long as you guys support it, we're going to, I promise you that you can smoke a cigar today and you can smoke that same cigar, that same brand a year from now, and it's always going to be the same, and it's always going to taste the same because we've been blessed that the Garcias are the way that they are, and at current production, we have enough tobacco probably to cover us for the next 5 to 6 years. So the blends will never change, my friend. They will never change.
No, and that's why I do it. So again, Jose, thank you again. If you're out there and you're smoking My Father, the new release dropped this week, the new Lealtad, and it's out there. We have multiple sizes, all the Cavalcade stores. We have box on the website. And again, we do have deals right now for the La Union out there. If you're not familiar with La Union, I'm not getting into it, but it's rare. It's out there, so find it. And the Pepin Black, which before we sign off, the Pepin 20th anniversary again, we have one box left, and it's on the website. One more sign off, Jose. One word to say to anybody if they haven't looked at the Pepin, what should they look at?
What should they look at? Oh, what?
It's really good.
No, it's not good. It's phenomenal.
Okay.
Truly, look, it's an experience, man. That's what our limited editions are. Our limited editions are an experience. They're not made. We don't make them so that you smoke it back to back. We don't make them so that you smoke them every day. They're a celebratory cigar. You know what I mean? And that's what they're intended to be. I personally buy my boxes of the limited edition, and what I do is exactly that. I grab it, I open up the box, I grab one, and when I have the time to really sit down and enjoy the cigar, make sure that I get everything out of it, smoke it slow, and it's a celebratory cigar. So you know what? I'm going to say phenomenal. If you want one word, that's my word. Phenomenal.
Thank you. That's a great word. All right. So, Jose, thank you so much for being with us tonight. We'll talk to you soon. We'll have you back on episode soon. Get home, stay with Mike. Tell Mike, hey, you guys go to bed. And thank you for being here.
Listen, next one we'll do it live, right? I'll be so make some room for me there so that I can hang out with you boys and actually smoke the cigar with you.
That'd be great.
All right, guys.
All right. Love you, Jose.
Thank you again. Likewise, brother. Be well.
All right, so Jose was with us. I'm back here in the studio with Matt.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're here for the experience.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah, no, I mean he's such a wealth of knowledge.
Oh yeah,
and he's obviously fantastic for cigars. And how was your experience with the new one?
Everything he described, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. This may be, and I'm glad you compared it to the Judge because that is my favorite My Father blend, the box press. But this, man, now it's tough. This is right up there. This could be my new fave.
It's there.
It's wonderful.
Price points are the same. I mean, it's in that $13 to $15 range for a single. Really, really good. Yeah. Fantastic blend.
Excellent.
Kill, what do we have out there from the audience? I know we people been commenting and stuff like that. So give us some feedback.
I don't have a whole lot. Just John Snell jumped on a couple times. Alan Martin. That's about it right now.
Okay. Well, if you're out there, you have any questions about the new stuff, let us know. We're now going to dive into the 5 cars that you want to own. So not that you did own, but you want to own. We go from there. I'm going to go grab another cigar really quick. So Matt, 5 to 1. You end with your number 1. Start with number 5.
Start with number 5.
I'll be back in a second. So start with number 5. We're going to go with cars again, not crazy Bugattis,
Yeah.
Lambos.
No.
Like what's in that
Realistic,
realistic like cars we want to talk about?
at the auction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, number 5 would be any kind of Trans Am. From not any kind. Number 1 would be Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am, but going back to even the 1970s, anything with the actual bird on the hood and T-tops. Tops are mandatory. Yeah, have to have the T-tops. Going back from that, one I really liked when I was a kid was the 76, and this is an odd one because our family had the station wagon and decent wagon, but the Plymouth put out a Volare Roadrunner. It had T-tops, a sport package. It was a gorgeous white with these red, orange, and yellow racing stripes, and I've just liked that ever since since it came out. I was like 6 years old. Still like those. Would pick one of those up if I could find one. Number 3, climbing up would this is a rare one, and you've never seen it. Would be a 1975 Buick Century pace car. So the Buick Century was already a boat. It was a V8 2-door rear wheel drive. My favorite combo in the world. But the pace car had the T-tops and bucket seats. A real nice sport version of the Century that year. And those are, like I say, I bet you've never seen one. That's something you're going to have to Google. And they're out there. I've seen like 3 of them in my whole life in person. So they're pretty rare. 2, I'm going to go Dream Garage. I'd say I got to have at some point a Square Body Chevy pickup. Like 70 to 85, 86. Something like that. And the Square Bodies are coming back. Their prices are
they
jacked up. Oh, yeah.
Jacked up?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then my number 1 would have to be a Shelby Cobra.
Really?
And I know I think that's even sexier than the Countach.
Cobra.
The Cobra. Yeah.
That's a great car.
It's not very practical, but I just think design-wise, it's one of the best looking cars ever made. Period.
I don't disagree. I mean, Shelby Cobra's like, that's the Bullet car, right?
No. The
Sorry, I was in the movie Bullet.
right.
What was
the
the
Bullet
car
was a
Bullet?
1967 Mustang.
Oh, sorry.
And then
The Cobra is.
Cobra. Can we get a picture of the Shelby Cobra?
I'm trying to. There's another
One million
iconic
times.
movie with a Cobra in
There
it.
you
What's
go.
what's the movie we're thinking of? What's the movie with the Cobra? Oh man, it's a sexy car.
Well, Carol Shelby drove one in Ford versus Ferrari.
Ford versus Ferrari, yeah.
And that was an interesting story. When he started out, he had built. They said we've got them in stock. We'll sell them. He had one that he was driving around the country, and the story is that he would stop by body shops and have it repainted before he made it to the next Ford dealership, so that it would look like he had a fleet of these ready to go, when actually it was the same car with about like 20, 30 coats of paint on it. But now it's they're millions of dollars. But so for our realistic list, for our purposes, I'd be perfectly happy with a kid.
Yeah. Oh, Jimmy. And if you're joining us tonight, we had those there. Take on. We still have some deals right now for the My Father Cigars, especially La Union. The Lealtad is out there. The new release. It's all in stores right now. We have singles. There's a couple boxes left on the website. 20% off for the boxes. The La Union, which is the LD release from My Father in Tatawahe. We have the whole box, 40 cigars. If you buy the whole box, humidor, cutter included, get 5 packs of Tatawahe for free. So you're getting 25 free cigars. You buy the whole bag. I know it's a lot of money. It's like $2,400, but it's really limited. And then also, we broke it up into 8 packs. So you get an 8-pack of 4 My Fathers, 4 Taiwais from the box, and get a free 5-pack. So you get that. It's 15% off right now. Works down to like $340 for the 8 cigars plus the 5-pack. It's on the website right now. It's out there. So you go to shop.coppercaneandtobacconist. Those are out there till Friday. Check them out. Again, I know they're very expensive cigars, very high end, but it's an LE release from them, and we're smoking the new one. So, again, great cigar, really well done. Again, it smokes like My Father. I think for most people, it's going to be in that medium plus range, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
What would you think, Matt?
I'd say medium to bold. Yeah. It's a great smoke. Yeah,
it's fantastic. And our bourbon tonight, again, from Barrel Proof, Old Forester Barrel Pick. It's hot. It's there. It tastes like bourbon.
Smooth for 130 proof, though.
No, it is. I will get my top 5 cars. I need yours. I had 5 cars that just geeking out, would want to own at some point, but probably will never own. Oh, my 5. We'll go number 5, 99 Porsche 911.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like when you're a kid, for me, you're a little bit older than me, but like it was just one of the coolest cars you ever see. You see it zipping around. Like that's a really cool fucking car.
Top tier car.
Porsche 911 is like just iconically awesome. Number 4 for me, 95 Aston Martin.
Oh, yeah.
Just a really cool freaking car. Don't have a lot of access to it over here, but Aston Martin carries a name. Like never not cool car. Number 3, 1980 Camaro.
Okay.
Well, she probably blue.
Oh, yeah.
Probably sitting in the garage out in Huntington right now that Rick Pasquale owns.
I bet you can find one.
1980 Camaro for me. Number 2, my daughter maybe watch it, maybe not. 67 Impala black, which is just a really, really cool looking car.
Absolutely.
And the number 1, just a car that I saw growing up a lot that looked really awesome. And in your mind, you go, if I could ever own one of those, I'd be kind of doing it. It would be like a 2000 like BMW M5.
Oh, yeah.
BMW M5. Just well-made car. Looks good. I don't know.
Those
BMW M5s, like they hit such that realm of cars to where it looked great. It looked cool. It was a luxury without having to be luxury. Does that make sense?
Sport luxury.
Right.
Sport luxury. Yeah. Perfect combination.
Right. Where it was like, it was an everyday car, but it wasn't, it was an everyday driver that didn't have to be $200,000, car.
Right.
And at that time, they were probably, what, $50,000-$60,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you can pick one up.
Yeah. I pay it for the same price.
I thought it was interesting what Jose said, though. Like some of his favorites, have you noticed, like when you were a kid, and those of us who owned a lot of cars, some of the ones you remember the most fondly were the shit boxes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and I don't know what it is about that, but it's just some of the cheapest, the junk that you didn't really care about. You just had the most fun with.
Sure. No, I'm my favorite cars as a kid. Like my first car was a Honda Del Sol 2-seater, 5-speed manual, and I ran that thing forever. And it got 40 miles to the gallon. It was a little sporty thing. If it rained, it was a terror to drive.
Yes.
Like snow was like really terrifying. Rain was like, oh shit, we might die. It was raining because it weighed probably 200 pounds. I remember I went to a party with some of my friends in my junior year, and I slid off the road into a ditch, and me and 6 of my buddies just pushed the car out of it. They probably weighed 800 pounds. So like we were like, oh, let's push Joe's car out. There you go. Easy enough. Yeah, you just pop neutral, push it out. It's great. It's easy.
Absolutely.
And if we ever wanted to flip it, we probably could have with like not much effort. And it was a really fun little first car to have. Got great gas mileage, 2-seater. They had that removable hard top.
Oh, yeah.
The hard top came off and it went into the trunk.
Yep.
So you had like a convertible. Great car. Not functional by any means, especially for the Midwest. like not remotely like functional, but a fine 5-month car to have. After that, then I went very practical. Honda Accord, Pontiac, van, Lincoln,
There you go.
boring stuff.
Well, we talked about this at work the other day, and a buddy was looking for a car for his kid. He was looking at some really nice stuff, and we got into the discussion about the junky cars that we had back in the '80s, like just the shit boxes. I picked up a car for $100 one time, drove it for a year.
That's a great value.
It's a great value. I picked up a Ford Escort one time for $400, drove it for a year, broke some stuff on it. The windshield got cracked. Sold it for $600. Actually made a profit after a year. But my argument for him was you're doing your kid a disservice by getting him a nice car right off the bat. Your daughter, super. Get her 100%. Get it bulletproof.
Your daughters, you want her a boat that will
Yes.
never die,
Yes.
and if people take shots at them, it's bulletproof. Yeah,
Absolutely.
for your daughter. For your
But
son, you want a car that would survive on Jackass.
you want a
Essentially.
struggle car. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember having a wipe. I didn't have defrost an MG one year, and I
Yeah.
had to wipe down if it rained or anything. I had to wipe down the inside of the windshield. You had to have a rag with you,
Yeah.
and you hoped that it started. It was one of those things where you're like, please start. You might be late for work, but if you don't have that for a couple years, you really rob that kid of the experience of feeling like he's arrived.
No,
Once he gets his own
it's
nice,
Midwest struggle. Like
dependable
people
car.
don't understand the Midwest. Let's say your house and maybe you park one car in the garage. Like right now,
Mhm.
my family we have our garage and it's a 2-car garage, but it's never really a 2-car garage when you have kids. So we park the van inside, and we have a lot of other stuff on the right side of the garage, to where I park my car outside. So if you have and you're in the winter, you got to defrost your car,
Mhm.
brush it off. And when you run into people from the south or from the tropic regions, you're like, when's the last time you had to like scrape your car off? They're like, oh my God, I would never. You're like, yeah,
How would you even do that
that's the Midwest. Like there's times when you come out of work, you have to scrape your car off.
in May?
Yes, in May, right now. We'll probably have a low of 30 whatever tonight. Like it happens. And that's the Midwest part of like anybody living here. It's
Yeah.
you have to embrace the suck. You have to embrace it. And that's why like a lot of cars. Yeah, that's a cool car. I don't want to own that in the Midwest.
Right.
I don't want to own that in a city with a million potholes. There's construction stuff. That's a cool car to
Flush
have.
half the year.
Oh,
A lot of these cars in our list, I noticed, are second cars,
yes.
and that the second car is a different list than the first car list.
Right. So I had to go through last week the whole used car thing. My oldest had a Ford Taurus. It finally,
Solid platform.
yeah, the Taurus was done. Like she had an 05 Taurus. It got to the point where the upkeep on it was enough for us paying a bill. Okay. So we were shopping. So I spent 4 days last week going to used car lots, which is probably do a poll out there. Probably one of the worst things you can do in your life is shop for used cars.
Mhm.
It's not fun. You got to go to a lot of places. After you leave that place, you get texting calls from a lot of guys you don't want to talk to. Like shopping for used cars is awful. And you know what you want to look for when you go there. And I felt bad. I left her. We looked at used cars for a whole day. I took the day off work. And I left her with Rick, my dad. I left her with Rick. And I say, hey, Rick, Annika wants to go look for cars tomorrow. Can you follow her around? And Rick was really good. Rick was looking at the calipers and the brakes and the engines and all his cars. And Rick left her for like 30 minutes at an unnamed car store in Fort Wayne. I'm not going to say the name of the car store, but he left her. And they were like sharks in the water.
Oh my God.
They were sharks in the water. Rick went home. It was like 3. He's like, I'll head out. I was like, Rick, why are you leaving? He left her. Rick left her. And
Abandoned.
he abandoned her. And these guys at the dealership were going, you don't need your dad to co-sign. Your dad here. We'll get you a rate. We'll get you this. You can walk out here
for 8 years.
Yeah. And, like, she walked in there going, hey, I need a used car, 100,000 miles on it or less. for about 10 grand. Okay.
Oh,
And
funny leeway.
and she walked in there and they went, oh, hey, look at this car. Look at this car. Look at this car. Look at this car.
It means 14.
And no, and she called me, hey, Dad, this Hyundai, blah, blah, blah. This 24 Hyundai is amazing. It's Annika. How much is it? They won't tell me. I said, what? Well, they won't tell me the price on it. They just told me my car payment could be like, they said my car payment could be like $330 a month. I said, Annika, what's the car payment? They won't tell me. I said, walk out of there. Just leave. Just leave. Just leave. I said, where's Papa Rick? Papa Rick left. Call Rick. Rick, what the fuck are you doing? Why did you leave Annika here with these sharks? And it was that point where they kept, I was like, just because she walked in their hand, they didn't show her one car that was in her price range for 2 hours. So Annika, just leave. Get the hell out of there. And they had on their lot multiple cars in our range that were interested, and they didn't show her one. And it's as an adult, I know I'll have to, but I think one of the worst things you do in your life is shop for a used car.
Oh, it's infuriating.
It's terrible.
Yeah. So insulting. It's always about the payment. It's always about the payment. It's never about the price. Always about the payment.
Right.
Bump that back a year.
Oh, yeah. We get you finance for this.
Oh, yeah.
We get you driving this today. Don't worry about it. Shut the fuck up. Like, again. And the hard thing is, like, we all know those guys that worked at lots like that. So I feel a little bit bad for them because we're kind of in sales. Like, I sell cigars, but like the guys that work at car lots, it's a different breed.
A special kind of scandalous.
Yeah. And I hated it. I hate all of it. I hate it for my daughter. I hate it for me. I hate it for Rick, who left there thinking he was like,
right.
Yeah, sucks, man.
And really, private parties getting just as dangerous.
Yes.
We'll get the title. We'll mail you the title.
Yeah, we'll send it to you eventually.
Yeah.
We may have it.
We might
Let me
have
find it.
We'll have to
Yeah.
find it.
Yeah.
Turns out it's not really their car.
It's not. No. We need to figure that. America, figure out selling used cars better, please. For everybody. Rosales messaged me that he wanted to be on. We'll give Rosales a minute. Where's he at? He said well, that's a little bit of time. Rosales said he'd be on 20. We'll see. We're still up here in 20. What's that?
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Johnny's cars.
Let's do it.
Got a
Yep,
list.
got Snell's
Do it.
cars here.
Oh,
We
all right. Let's hear Snell's car list. Here, let's see.
got his top 5. We have a 1936 Cadillac Series 80V13. Oh, say that was V12 with classic 6.4 Impala.
Oh, yeah.
Got a Chevy square body.
Boom. There you go.
Can't go wrong with 63 Vet. And then number 1, we have the 47 Chevy Fleet Line.
That is a solid number 1. Absolutely.
We had Alan Martin came on and said, my first shit box was my grandpa's highly used 1983 F50 with an inline 6, manual choke, manual transmission, and bright clicker on the floor. It has torque for days, but the 0 to 60 time was about 2 minutes.
I tell you what, man, that a pickup truck with a straight 6 in it is starting to become my new dream car. With all this new technology got in these cars nowadays, with even down to the, some of these newer cars, you can't even put in your own battery. You've got to have the computer reset to tell the car it's a new battery. That's essentially a tractor engine. They used to put essentially the same 6-cylinder. The Ford 300 was essentially a tractor motor.
Yeah.
And it's just, God, if somebody would come back with something like that.
Sure. No, I can see that. One thing I want to talk about tonight, again, I'm about to smoke this Ortega. The only reason I brought this out was this is the other, one of the other Ecuadorian releases for my father. It's so different than when we have smoked. Is we're talking about cars, we're talking about cigars, and what's out there. When you're looking for a reasonable car for your kid or anybody else, like Matt, are you looking for years, mileage, in between, Like, what's more important to you for an engine? Because you see, like, if you see like a 2020, it's like 30,000 miles on it, you're like, oh, that looks great. But you look for make, model, mileage. Like, what's your main concern?
My
Look at
main
car.
concern is reliability and parts availability.
Because earlier
And after that, mileage, and last is year. Like, year to me is a vintage. If you took good care of your car and it's a good model, that it's a 200,000 mile car, yeah, get one with 100,000 on it, like a Mercedes. Like
But how many new cars right now? Like, how many cars post 2015 do you feel like are 200,000 mile cars?
They're out there. You had a Toyota, Lexus, Accord. I tell you, it didn't make the list just because it seems. I mean, I think we were talking about dream stuff and everything. These are easily attainable, but man, you get a well maintained Lexus,
Yeah.
even a used one. You can get one of those under $10,000 easy, and you're talking
Really?
about 300,000 mile car.
No, that's what you're looking for. When you look for a car for your kid or anybody else, like, of course, like, I mean, that's a
Absolutely.
dream for anybody. Like, I would love a 300,000 mile car.
Yeah.
My Lincoln is limping along. Like,
And you get to a point where, like, you get to 100,000 miles, you might have a laundry list of stuff that needs to be replaced. That was
yeah.
put off. You got your front suspension is going to have issues. You might have a timing chain that needs to be replaced. But if
I just replaced the
that
whole
in.
transfer case.
Yeah,
in my
right.
Lincoln. I just did.
But you essentially, I mean,
It's a new car. It's a
That'll
new
go
car.
another 100,000 miles.
Hopefully.
Now, that was an expensive repair,
Uh-huh.
but could you have replaced that car for that without
No.
picking up somebody else's problems?
No.
So I'm a big fan of just, replace and repair. That's again my one of my favorite cars to tootle around in is now 29 years old,
Wow.
and I love it. I love it, and I've had to do some stuff to it, but you're either paying maintenance or payments.
Yeah.
So you can get
Yeah.
a new
No,
car.
no,
make
that's a
payments.
great edge.
Yep.
Maintenance or payments.
You're
So I feel
paying-
like too many people make the knee jerk reaction like, I need a new car. Well, that's payments. Or you fix it. You figure it out.
yeah,
Yeah.
either way.
No, you're right. You're right. I don't know if Mike's gonna hop on this thing. He just messaged me. He's on Central Time. I forget what he's doing from Roman Craft. FOP this year. So again, Matt is a police officer here in Fort Indiana. We've done a lot of fun cigar events with him over the years.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of really fun stuff. This summer, FOP. You want to talk about it?
Yeah. Well, it's. I mean, it's closed, but it will be a fun event for us. Where our lodge is 110 years old now. Open in 1918. So we're the oldest lodge in Indiana, and Colonel Order of Police is nationwide, right? We're the 14th lodge to open back in the 1900s. And we're going to host the state conference this year. So we've got cops coming from all over Indiana. Or essentially, it's a meeting. We're going to vote for leadership and do some bookkeeping and things like that. But the party night with Copper
Yes.
Canyon on the 10th and 11th gonna be lit.
So cigars and cops are kind of cops like cigars. Some do.
We do. Some do. We've got quite a few guys. We used to, on third shift, we used to that's how I got into cigars. I had a buddy of mine who was really into them, and we would meet on third shift. You're really busy when you get to work, but and that's why I love third shift. I had a lot of energy to go to work and wanted to go to work for the first 2 hours. And after that, it wore over. I'm like, I'm over.
When you say third shift, what time does your shift start?
So we started at 10:30 at night,
Ooh.
and we ended at 6:30 in the morning, roughly 6 in the morning. So the nice thing was, after all the drunks are tucked away at 3:30, it's pretty much a ghost town. Even Fort Wayne, pretty quiet from 4 to 6 a.m. So we used to pull up 3-4 cars deep and enjoy a cigar and listen to some coast to coast radio. I don't know if you've ever heard of Coast to Coast with
Have.
George.
Yeah, I
Norrie.
have, yeah.
Okay. Great radio show.
Some nice barley pipes just on the radio, just letting you know what's going on there in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We did switch to pipes every once in a while because there's nothing worse. I swear to God, you could light up a really nice cigar and dispatch could hear that all the way downtown, hear that lighter click, and they'd be like, "Oh, so and so, we got the worst run of the night for you, just waiting on deck." So pipes were popular too.
Yeah.
Dump that and roll. But it was a good time.
But the age of like AM radio, FM radio, just sitting in a car listening to it. Like I remember growing up, like when we're spoiled now with sports or anything else. Like I want to watch my sports and watch games live stream all the time. I remember as a kid, like listening to baseball on the radio was some of the best like sports memories I had, or hockey even. WJR 760 Detroit, and the AM station would carry into Fort Wayne. And on a cold night, you could hear it pretty well.
Oh yeah.
On a different night, it was like meh. But the old like AM radio was fantastic.
I talked to some pilots who told us back in the day, before GPS and all that in the cockpit. I mean, you had radio towers that you would use to church away. I mean, that's towers were at the airport. A lot of the guys say they could fly all the way from Florida using WOWO target.
Sure.
Just because what do we have, like 50,000 watts or whatever they said it was?
The WOWO famous fire escape.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a wild time.
Yeah, it still is.
So tell me about the show.
Oh,
the show.
The PCA.
Yeah.
I mean, John's here with us. He can talk about it as well. Kale was on the show with me. So PCA 26. We just got back. There's a lot of content on the channel. It was big. I mean, it's big. Obviously, it's a cigar trade show. We talked about the new My Father stuff out there, which obviously just dropped. The new Don Pepin, the new regular production, Law of the Lealtad. I feel like Tat had really, really exciting stuff. I think John would agree. The Old Man and the Sea Monster, the Creature 10-count box release, for I think it's going to drop in May, and the Jace release in the fall. They're going to have the Veracruz 6 and Don Pepin not Don Pepin, God, the black sizes this spring. So Tatawahe has a lot of really fun stuff. Outside that, a lot of companies would carry. We had the soccer ball released from Oliva, which is really awesome. It's out there on the website. Yeah. Bobby bought a couple of those. So you have the World Cup stuff. Drew Estate just dropped the El Tigre and the Dominicana Buenas Noches from Drew Estate. So that's out there. There's a lot. So if you follow our channel, there's so much new cigar stuff dropping all the time for the next 4 months. Probably plus, because people are finding all their stuff out for this year at the trade show. So Tatawahe, Oliva, Drew Estate, Rocky Patel has new cigars coming out this year. The Sapphire with the new Rocky Patel. It's all out there. So what's up? And the Throne stuff is, I mean, Lee from Stolen Throne, he's got multiple new releases this year. Highway whatever. Highway Drifter.
Okay.
The Brody, and more than that. I mean, so Stolen Throne's got, I think, 6 at least this year. Revelry. And the Brody, yeah. So Stolen Throne will have all the bundles and the boxes on the website as well. So Throne has a ton of new stuff. Romacraft, I'm hoping Mike jumps on. Romacraft pretty much made it status quo tonight. Oh, Mike's here?
Yep. Mike
okay, give me 1 sec. So Romacraft this year was like, hey, we're doing status quo. We're catching up a little bit. We have the maquettes. But if Mike's here, we'll let him explain it. So bring Mike in. Let's get Mike Rosales on. So Mike Rosales, Romacraft, is here. There he is.
Mic check. How you doing?
What's up, Mike?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, where you at?
I'm at my house.
He's at his house.
Yeah. I was told, hey, so forgot to tell you, got to remind you that we're on different time zones. So wasn't Wasn't quite prepared. How's everybody doing tonight?
Yeah, we're great. We're great. We had a little bit of show. We told people we were
Yeah.
gonna hop on for a minute, and I was really excited because I saw the press release tonight for the new Crow Mag.
You talking about the
So
Visigoth?
that's news to me.
Okay. Well, that's I believe yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot of information on it. I know it's based off the blend for the foreign domestic, and then we did another cigar for Riverside for the 15th anniversary, and so it was
Yes.
kind of based off of that blend. And so it's hang on, sorry, I got all these lights on. So anyway, so yeah, so it's done. People, the response and feedback has been really well received. Just like same thing. Like whenever we did, Mastranza, whenever it was a maquette, and then it did well and was received, and then so that's so now we have the Visigoth. So which is that kind of completes the whole timeline. Sorry about trying to get my cigar lit up.
You're good.
So yeah.
So I saw on Half Wheel
Yeah.
that you're dropping this thing, new Cro-Magnon, and it's called the Visigoth.
Visigoth, yeah.
Visigoth.
Yeah.
Do you think
Yeah.
you can name all 7 sizes of the Visigoth?
Is it based off the no, hang on a second, because you're let me catch my
I'm looking at them. Do you think you can name all 7?
Let him light his
Okay.
cigar. What are we doing?
He's had a few, huh? How much have
What?
you had? Yeah.
Who, Joe?
Yeah.
We've been
You
looking at
just
Half
warming
Wheel.
up?
We
You just
joked
warm-
about
you
it.
just-
We're like, these
you
are
just-
really weird names,
Mm.
and it's really complicated, as always. So we're like, if we put Mike on the point, could he name all 7 of the new interesting Cro-Magnon blends?
No, I haven't even read the press release.
So
Now, to
What'd
be
he say?
fair,
I haven't
to
read
be
the
fair-
press
no,
release.
I haven't read the press release, but to be fair, I haven't had a chance. Like Skip and I were kind of going back and forth and talking, and so they scooped up his kind of him kind of talking about the process of creating this, and then kind of ran with the story. So um, so I don't.
You're fine. My
Yeah.
biggest question would
But
be, have you smoked it? And
well,
you're
yeah, I
obviously
mean,
very excited about it, probably because if it's like the maquette and the Riverside release, it's probably fantastic.
yeah. I mean, I think. I mean, listen. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of stuff that we're missing on right now. I think the production in the factory right now is probably as good as it's ever been, and it's humming along. So the blend as well. I mean, I think they've done a really good job. I'm a big fan, like I said, of I mean, I think we talked about it before. Volstead is one of my favorites that we make.
Yep.
And so it's I would say it's probably more finesse, depth and flavor, but more finesse. Um, I think that the Volstead is like right down the middle. I mean, it's probably a true kind of medium cigar. I think it's for me, like I like to give that cigar to anybody based on kind of understanding like where their palate's at, and then I can kind of dial in based on more peppery, more spice, or less kind of back off and kind of dial it in a little bit more. So that's for me, like that's a really good starting point. So
Right.
um so let's so how was the trade show? I know I missed a lot of information. So what how was the trade show for you guys? Did you guys did a little recording? We did a little clip, right? First day.
Trade show is good.
First day.
We did a lot of live content. And trade show is good. We just had Jose Ortega on from My Father tonight and talked about their new releases. But the show is good. There's not a ton of new stuff out there that we're like really, really that excited about. I saw the Visigoth thing today, and that was probably the most exciting thing I've seen since the trade show, for sure. And again, the brands that we carry, the brands that we're passionate about, we're carrying. But like that release, I was surprised. I saw it happen. I'm like, oh, I mean, I'm talking to Jason and you and people every day. I didn't know about it, so you guys kept that really under wraps. So I texted you today. I was like, hey, let's talk about this blend because that might be the most exciting thing of the year for me. Is a new Chromag blend, 7 sizes. That's I want to talk about this.
Well, we had, like I said, we had talked about it, and my original kind of thought process was it was going to be, kind of the drop for 2027. Um, and so, it's one of these things like where the, there's this, prehistoric kind of thought process. I mean, everything kind of started off, when we kind of got kind of going and we were in Skip's man cave, right? And he had lost the shop, and I was kind of swimming in which direction I was going to go because I had the cigar rollers kind of working in the States. I was doing full-time real estate broker, and um, trying to get the real estate to kind of settle out because the banking stuff had kind of collapsed and was trying to get back to normal. um, and then it was like hairy knuckles, knuckle draggers, cave, man cave, and then it was like, what about this box that kind of looks like this really old Indiana Jones rustic kind of type of font that they use for like like actual like at a museum, so the type font that they this the species name. So it was just like really simple, because it was always it wasn't ever about the packaging or the labels. It was always about the product itself. And so like even then we launched without any kind of labels. And so anyway, so that was kind of the spin on knuckle dragger, early modern human, because at the time there were, so it was the knuckle dragger, the Pestera and the Mode 5 came later. So it was the cranium, anthropology, knuckle dragger. I think the knuckle dragger was probably like the first, that and the EMH. And then then the Mode 5 came, Pestera came. And so that completed the 7, right? So different sizes. And so 4x46, 4x52. Oh, the 4.5x60, the mandible, because we originally tried to do a 660. It didn't really smoke that well. And then you had Mode 5 came much later. EMH came, was part of the original anthropology and cranium. So anyway, so that was where like the same sizes, right? And those same sizes have kind of been core, in Aquitaine being the region of France where they found the skull. And basically kind of this and then much later, probably 20. I mean, I have to go check my dates. But I had to get my little sheet. So I'm getting older. I can't remember all these things. But essentially, like when we started doing the Neanderthal, because Neanderthal came a few years later. It was like we knew that it had to be kind of tied into the brand, and that was going to be a little bit more fuller, and and so Neanderthal kind of came. Then much later, and that was only going to be one size, and then all of a sudden now, it's got the Hawks T, SGP, and the kind of the LE sizes that we do from the European stuff, um, along with the box press, um, the Grand Perfecto. Anyways, there's several kind of one-off stuff that's kind of happened, and then Baca came, right? So that was, the African Cameroon and the Pygmies. And then you have, so basically you've kind of have, this generational kind of lineage, this timeline. And so that's kind of, this storyline. And so Skip actually did a podcast on it that's actually really pretty cool that he had done with AI. I was looking for it the other day because I was going to play it in the office for somebody, but my link wasn't working. And but it really does a really good job of kind of laying it all out, right? So so anyway, so the names, so I think that the trying to remember kind of how it kind of lays out, but you have the Visigoth people, Western Goths,
Yeah.
and then kind of the hinge between antiquity and the medieval world, right? So taking of Rome. So um, you, you had Uric, the ruler, the king, um, but and then kind of this whole expansionism kind of thing that was going on. So I don't know. So yeah, so it's other than and then recently we had the Mestranza, right? So that kind of was the Spanish kind of tie-in, and so there's a lot to kind of digest. But I think really kind of when you see like the timeline, again our fifth and our 10th anniversary kind of cigar, the 109 Bellicoso, right? So it really kind of you get a chance to kind of see it, in this development and this kind of evolving kind of thing, um, especially from when we dropped Cro-Magnon at the time. I mean, that was such you know a, a kick in the balls kind of a cigar, right? There wasn't really, there was Antonio, the Hoya Antonio was out, La Traviata
Yep.
was out. And then you had, obviously Liga was kind of doing Liga, but that was really, really early on, back when it was like difficult to get. That was before the Swisher acquisition. Um, you know, La Flor Dominicana had some pretty powerhouse cigars, but it was like that was kind of our, kind of jump into the deep end as far as, I mean, still Knuckle Dragger. I mean, that was the jump off. I mean, the Cro-Magnon Knuckle Dragger was, the cigar and you know, all the Pookie memes that were kind of going around. You got some more of them knuckle draggers, and so yeah, it's just really been pretty cool. Um, so a lot of information to kind of digest, and I mean, I hate to be kind of vague, but I think we're all kind of learning as far as my thing is I'm trying to sell the cigars that I can actually get to people right now, and not something that's going to be coming down the pipe, right? So
Right. No, that's
what
awesome. Again, we're really, really excited about the new release and late 26. We're looking at. So Matt Neubauer, a good friend of mine, is here in the studio with me. And earlier tonight, before we jumped on, we were talking about cars.
okay,
And obviously, Mike, you've owned cars in your life.
sure.
So Mike, what's the top 3 cars you've owned in your life? Like top 3 cars you've owned personally.
Well, my when you say top, I mean, how you define top? Talking like most expensive?
Like
Or
that
talking
you
about
love. I'm
coolest?
not talking about reliability, but like you're like, I love this fucking car. It could be a car you own when you're 16. Like
Mm.
cars that you loved. Top
Well,
3.
believe it or not, I had a whatever the last year that the Saturn was out, and it had this little cool spoiler, and I put some rims on it. Every car that I've ever had has like I've stripped out the speakers and upgraded and put in a sound system. Um, so I'm a big JL audio kind of guy. So anyway, um so that was I mean, that's kind of my first love car, because it was like I wouldn't call it my top car. I had a 2000 Cadillac STS. That was right before they changed over and went to the CTS. That was pretty dope. So I put that. Um, the first year that the Volvo SUV came out, um, the newer one, the little square one, after they kind of did
Yeah.
the remodel. I was in a mall up in Dallas and walked in, and they had these. It was this like, it was so cool. It was so pretty. Um, Volvo SUV. I mean, like, I literally stopped and was like, "What is that?" Because I hadn't seen, I didn't even recognize it, and so I went and I got one of those. My 2017 Audi A7 is probably my favorite car. I still have it. I did a lot of modifications on that, so um, coilovers, um, upgraded rims, muffler system, stage 2 pulley. Uh, I mean, it's got all kinds of stuff on it. Um, that's probably my favorite car. And then I bought a 25 A7 um, not too long ago. So those, but my
A7 is
2017,
solid.
yeah. So that's probably my favorite car. I still own it.
So how many cars has Jason wrecked at Roman Craft?
He
Or
wrecked
not?
my new one. Yeah, he wrecked my new one. You heard
Which
about that?
one?
The 25.
Oh, no.
The A7 2025.
I heard he tore it up, like he wrecked it.
Yeah, it's yeah, that we don't talk about that because I just get angry and I don't want to be angry. So, but it happens. I mean, I'm glad he made it back safe and that he was uh, not not in any real serious
The
danger.
car is fine right now. It's running.
Car's running. Yeah,
Car's
so
running.
we're good. What about
That's
you guys?
25A7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are you smoking right now, Mike?
The Whiskey Rebellion.
Whiskey Rebellion. There you go.
Yeah.
Which size?
This is the Jefferson. So I figured
Jefferson.
that was-
We
yeah.
have those available at Copper Canyon in
Mhm.
multiple locations. So check out Jefferson. It's a
Yeah.
great cigar.
Thank you, man. It's got a little spice to it, a little bit.
Got a little bit body to it.
Yeah, it's got some body to it. It's for me, like I think it's a really good. I mean, if you like people who say that they like Nicaraguan-esque type cigars, like I think it's like right down, good burn, sub $10. It's fantastic smoke. So, what are you guys smoking?
I am smoking the Grano Fuerte from my father. We did the he's from the same thing. So we did a release of the Lealtad, the new My Father tonight. It's kind of the theme of the episode.
Is that out of
It's
the
about Nicaraguan
Honduras?
tobacco.
Okay, not out of the Honduran factory.
What's that?
Is it out of the Honduran factory?
It is. It is. So you're right. I said Nicaraguan tobacco. Yeah, this
It
is
could-
the
it
new
could be- it could
the
be- it could be
Honduran cigars.
rolled.
So,
Yeah, it could be
but
rolled in
play
Honduras.
this.
with
If you
Nicaraguan.
pick it up, it doesn't taste like the blue. It's very old My Father esque for them. It's very opposite of the blue. Very opposite. It tastes like OG My Father for sure. The newer one
right.
does.
Love it. All right, boys.
It's
Is there
right.
anything else you need from me?
What's that?
Are we doing okay on time? Or is there anything else you need from me? We good? We
Do we
gonna
need
keep
else?
talking? No,
Sorry, I couldn't hear
I'm
you.
making sure. Are we okay on time?
No, we're good on time.
we're
I just
on
want to
time.
check in with you for a minute. We'll bump out in here in a second. Yeah, we're just smoking the My Father stuff, but I want to check in because I really want to talk about the new Chrome Egg release and the new maquette stuff coming out this year, and then we'll let you get out of here because I know you're busy.
Oh no, that's
so-
fine. I mean, I think
No.
that yeah. So the upcoming maquette is gonna the Scuttlebutt, and
Yes.
that'll probably be third, fourth week of May, maybe June. I'd have to look. Some of the upcoming shipments, they're all kind of getting squished together. But yeah, so that's coming out. That's right about 1,000 bundles. And for people that don't know, I mean, I think the Craft Maquette series was really kind of this idea. So I mean, realistically, what will happen, like when they do, you know, it's this idea of kind of the, if you're an engineer or you're working on something or you draft and you design, it's kind of the renderings of maybe the first or third, fourth kind of examples before it goes to final production, right? So that's what you know. So this blend overall, like it's it kind of simplifies it in the idea of saying, oh, it did really well and the response was really good. So we turned it into this blend and we did whatever. Like, yes and no. Like, I think, you think about the difference in time between, the 4x46 that came out and then the
Right.
Riverside cigar that came out. Like, there's a big gap in time. And so so what ends up happening is, let's say, for example, you say, okay, hey, I want, let's do up, 1,000 cigars with this, either this combination blend, filler, wrapper, whatever. And then you say, you know what, and then you also make some that have this other kind of, maybe it's a tweak in this way or that way. But you still make enough to kind of see how it ages and how it produces, and you kind of smoke through, before it goes into full production. And then, even then, like sometimes they may not even go into production. They're just samples, right? So they're just different variations of the sample. And so, that's that, so you kind of have this idea of where you want to go with something. And then you have this opportunity to kind of do these variations. And so the feedback and response, I mean, listen, I think the Riverside 15th anniversary is, it's a really good cigar. I mean, we've
It's really good. It's really good.
yeah. And so, I think, and the feedback has been great. As well as even the original maquette, like, even though there's like some different variations in some of the the fillers. But I think that's, and then you have scuttlebutt, right, which is this a whole other thing, right? So that's, um, as far as like a company that comes out with a lot of stuff, we don't really drop a lot of new projects. Like at the trade show, we didn't have anything, and we could have sit down and realistically, had um, sampled out, you know, some of those cigars at the trade show, if it was something that we were really gonna like kind of focus on. Um, so anyway, so it's one of those things that it's always nice to have some new things kind of drop. But at the same time, like we don't want to do so much because at the end of the day, there's only so much pie, and there's only so much shelf space in the
Right.
humidor. And I think that that's something that a lot of manufacturers oftentimes forget about. Like, so if something's coming up, what's coming down, or who's going out and who's coming in, and there's this constant kind of rotation. And so um I think we've done a really good job of kind of, really putting out a really good product at a fair price. There's no glitz and glamour. It's just a really good cigar, and at a price point that is pretty much unheard of for
Yes.
what you get. So they all punch up in quality and in value, and so that is something that you're constantly kind of, you want to make sure that you're holding your own in the humidor. Especially like, I was looking at somebody's shelf the other day. They probably carried, I think we kind of counted, it was like 42 facings, and they originally started off, it started off with like maybe 7 or 8 at the time. You know what I mean? It was like one to show, one to go, but yet it was like, a brotherly kindness,
Yeah.
a Remus, so it just kind of started off in the 5x56s. And so now it's like, it's a couple of shelves, and on one hand, it's like, okay, hey, we only did 200 boxes. Why don't you, sell that and clear up the shelf space for something else? Because it's, but also on the other hand, it's like, I'm not in a hurry to sell it. So it's like, what do you,
Right.
I don't, so I don't know what it says. I mean, I like to support, but I hope they're turning it over. But if they're not in a hurry to turn something over, then it works out really well. So, um, but you want to be conscious of something, especially like if like I was in a shop and they still had some Baca Grand Perfectos that we hadn't done in quite some time, uh, and you're like, dude, like you know, sell them. I mean, you only had like a box or two, so you know, comp them off, give them out to some guys. Say if you like it, hey, I've got the other stuff, or whatever. You can be creative, but that my fear is like I don't want to just kind of throw another something out with somebody. Now if they're selling at the same rate that we're bringing something new in, then it's a good flow. And that's what you're trying
Yeah.
to do. Um, but sometimes retailers don't work at the same pace, and you're kind of fighting with.
No one does. And I think for you guys, like with where production's at, like it's in a good spot because
Mhm.
right now, even like what we think of as rare production, the Crow Mag and everything else is dropping to where guys go, oh, Crow Mag's coming back. Neanderthal comes back in these sizes to where it's like it's regular production, but it's really not in a way to where guys are grabbing stuff because we have sizes right now of Crow Mag that's out. You know that. They'll
Mhm.
come back in. It'll sell hot because it's not there. And then the LEs come in, they sell day one. I think it's a good blend. It's a good blend of what's going on right now because even the stuff that we think of as regular production is really not.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people. I mean, I think the if you want to have a really good success with our brand, and I think this really kind of is hold true for quite a other manufacturers at different scales. But let's say, for example, um, well, we've kind of been tracking this the longer that the account has been with us and the success of the account based on how much the growth that they have year over year, and so there's this, the shops that do really well with the intemperance brands, where their core mix is kind of at this, kind of 40% of, so think about that, right? So, BAEC whiskey, Volstead, you know, and you can probably even throw in Aquatine because it's always kind of steady Eddie. Um, so if you take that and that's 40% of your overall number, then you still have, Baca whenever it drops, Cro-Magnon whenever it drops, Neanderthal whenever it's it especially in the other sizes. I mean, we always have HN coming in, you know, but then and now Mastranza, right? But the numbers, the analytics will tell you is that the tenure and the length and the relationship and the growth and the brand overall, is really having the core mix, in those brands that I kind of called out originally, and that's really that's what you want to see. Like that's the goal, right? So when you sit down, you talk to somebody, say, hey, I want this account to grow to X, or I want to see, really what you're saying is like, okay, if Roma is going to be a pillar, or any brand is going to be a pillar in your, in your shop, this is how you build it, right? This is how you
Yeah.
establish that. And so that way you don't have this kind of up and down in these dips, right? I mean, you've been in some cigar shops, when you travel around, I'm sure you've seen it where people go, oh, that brand's kind of died off, or this brand is kind of done whatever. And then there's these other brands that just kind of keep, leveled off. And, I think, I don't know this for sure, but I think that, kind of talking with Eddie and the guys over at La Flor Dominicana, it's like, hey, if you just wanted to sell bulls, um, probably not going to have great success with La Flor Dominicana, but if you said, hey, I want, Airbender and Lennox, sprinkled in with some DL 700, some chisels, some diggers, you know what I mean? Like they could probably get that to you. And then all of a sudden it's like, then the cherry on top is the bulls, right? Like that's
Yes.
and then you reward the guys that come in and kind of get the regular everyday stuff with, some bulls when they drop, and it still stay special, right? So unless I'm wrong, tell me.
No,
But I
you're
think
right. Like Ellie's can only stand if you have a core brand behind it. Like you can't just live to have Ellie's in any place. Any place. Can't live that way.
yeah, and I think that you know, same thing, like I don't know if it is this way anymore, but Dirty Rats and the Unico
Yeah.
series, it was kind of the
No, it lives that way. It does. Any big brand. There are people that
Yeah.
come in every day and go, I just want the deal. And I'm not even talking about the LEs. I think cigar customers have now been groomed where when they want to buy a box, they're like, well, I like that cigar. It could be really a production. They go, well, I'll wait till an event because I get the swag, the swag, the swag, the swag. Where you go, okay, I guess. But like, we might not do an event for like 3 months or ever, and you're gonna wait because you want to buy. You're buying that cigar every day. If you like that cigar, just buy it. Just buy it. There's a deal, sure, but like, there's nothing guaranteed in the industry. So if you like that cigar, buy it. Here's the thing: if you don't buy it, that cigar might not exist in a year or 2 years. It might not.
Yeah.
Among any company. Am I wrong?
No, but I think that there's this like, I always look at the bourbon, the bourbon group guys, right? Like they're the guys who'll go out and stand in line and grab a bottle of whatever. But then there's just the guy that just wants to taste it. They don't necessarily want to commit to a full bottle, or we'll pay the markup, right? But we don't have that necessarily.
It's the Lancero and Lonsdale guys.
Yeah. And so,
Yes.
it's like they oh man, I love this, I love that, and then you finally get an opportunity to buy it and it's like, oh, I just want to try one. I'll just stick to one. And and it's I guess on one hand it's this is my kind of theory on those kinds of sizes. It's like dessert. You don't always eat dessert. You may not always, have dessert at home at every meal, but when every once in a while you'll go out to eat and you're with a group of people and then the tray comes over, that's kind of like a Lancero. It's like a dessert. Like you don't, if it's available and it's kind of the right time and mood or whatever, you'll have it. But other than that, it's not something that you pull out every time. And I've seen a lot of shops that specialize. I mean, Riverside was one of those shops that I think at one time had 23, 24 different Lanceros, and I think now he's down to just a handful. And you know, um, and again, I think, the guys that talk big game about, oh, I love Lanceros, if they really spent like they love Lanceros, I think it'd be a different ball game. Um, you know, So that's you know, but from a manufacturing side, that's one of the hardest sizes to make. I mean,
Yes.
it's there's little margin for error, and it's so you have to have a lot of skill, and so there's not a
The OG, I'm gonna mess the name. At Lottle,
yeah,
the
that ladle was good.
Aquitaine,
Yeah.
10 count,
Oh, with
Lancero
the
you
with
guys
the with the
did.
with
Oh
the
my
tray
god.
with the tray that separated the top and the bottom. Yeah, those were
Dude.
those were made. They weren't. There's no press. There's no mold. So it's in this process called tabacchiato. So they do it in newspaper. So I mean, it takes about a week to make each cigar. Because it's basically a little bit of newspaper, a little bit of newspaper, a little just kind of continues to dry out, and so until it takes shape, kind of like how we did all the Trumpettas in the craft series back in the
Yeah.
day. But yeah, my favorite all time. So Drew Estate did a small run. It was the original BOTL Lancero for Tim Podwigga
My god, those
for
were so
for,
good.
for Podwigga cigars,
Yeah.
and those things were like so good. I mean, like that was that was kind of we were just kind of getting going. That was like that 2012, 2011, 2012, maybe 13 time frame. And I remember getting a hold of one of those, going, dude, this is this is really special.
I'll throw another one at you. The original H-Town Lancero Neanderthals that
Oh yeah,
Matul still had some of years ago at Suns up in New York.
yeah.
Those were like, I still have, I think, 2 at my house.
Mm.
Like those OG Neanderthal Lanceros from H-Town were like, even years after,
Oh yeah,
smoked so full, so crazy.
yeah.
Hall of Fame cigar.
No, man, that's the Neanderthal Lancero, uh, really really good. I probably like the Aquitaine. Um, you know, so I don't know if you know this, but the Weaselitos are half Lanceros. Um,
Yes. So I
so
actually have one in my box. It's here in the studio somewhere. Skip gave me a Weaselio Neanderthal at my first Roma party. I mean, a lot of years ago. I still
yeah,
have it. I haven't smoked it. He had those little half Neanderthals, like little Neanderthals. It's a
yeah.
Weaselito before Weaselitos were a thing. I still have one somewhere on me.
Dude,
It's in the studio somewhere.
what are you
I have
waiting on,
one.
bro? What are you waiting on? Go get it.
What's that?
And I said, what are you waiting on? You should smoke it.
I don't know.
Mm.
You know what? I'm gonna turn 40 in August. That's when I'll smoke it. I'll text you tonight. That's what I'll wait for. I'll smoke it in August and I'll say, hey, I finally smoked it.
There you go.
I don't know. I held it. There's those cigars that you hold for you don't know why. And eventually go, well, I'll smoke it now and I'll probably smoke in August, I guess at this point.
I don't know how I got one. I got one of the wedding cigars for one of the Fuente people. I did not, and I also had one. So Marvin had a Drew Estate wedding cigar too, and I have one of those. But I have some of that stuff where I don't smoke it. I just kind of those little light bulbs back there like really bugging me. I'm sorry. But yeah, they're cigars that again they're just one offs, one time pieces that I'll never be able to. I don't know what
Right.
I'm waiting on.
Like how many
It-
times you get married, how many times you have a kid, how many times whatever you
Yeah.
go, well, I'm gonna smoke this. Like
Yeah.
we all have those cigars. At some point,
Yeah.
we need to all have a day where we go,
Well,
this is
it's
the day
really
that we all
yeah.
smoke these cigars.
Yeah. I mean, those are a little different because I feel like they're like keepsakes and not necessarily like it's a cigar, but it's also um it's more like
It's a
a
moment.
momentum.
It's an
Yeah.
emotion. It's a thing that
Yeah.
you remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So, because it's funny because Skip and I, we go to the Nicaraguan Cigar Festival, and he'll mow through, all the cigars in the boxes, and I still have mine. And then every once in a while, he'll come over and he'll crack one open, and like, dude, you still got these? From 2013, 2014? Like, yeah. I mean, I'm kind of a creature of habit. I eat the same foods. I smoke the same cigars. I don't really deviate. I don't. Um, I like the same kind of coffee beans, so once I kind of get in my routine, I'm kind of set on my routine. So I don't but that's me.
No, I'm the same way. All right, Mike, we'll let you get out of here. I know you said they was tonight. We get out of here. So we have the new releases coming out later this year. We're going to do an episode very soon. Hopefully, the new Crow Mag Scuttlebutt is dropping soon.
Yeah, Scuttlebutt will be a maquette that will be coming out kind of, May, June timeframe. So I'll get you some information on that. That was in the cabinet case at the trade show. And then, so just so you know, this is how we do allocations. If you have any retailers listening, is your LE allocation is I base it off of 25% of what you do in core line stuff. So then that way it's fair. I don't move the goalposts on people, and I think that that's a good way to. So if you're listening and your core mix is down, gotta get it up. Gotta do better.
Get it up.
Get it up. So
Get up. We'll have
gentlemen,
plenty of Scuttlebutt. We'll have
Yeah,
Mike on from the episode. Mike, thank you for taking time with us tonight. Matt,
worries.
thank you for being here.
Of course.
Mike, we'll talk to you soon.
all right. Have a good night, guys. Take care. Thank you for having me
Love
on.
you, Mike.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks for being a part of this Capricorn Cigar Chat Live with my father and Roman Craft Tobacco. Look for the new stuff out there in the stores, on the website. Again, the next couple of days, La Union, 8-pack. You get a free pack of Tanawai Black. You buy a whole box of La Union, a whole box, which is a giant humidor, and 5 free packs of Tanawai, which is crazy. It's crazy. 25 free cigars. So check it out. We'll talk to you soon. Look for new stuff again this weekend and next week. For Matt Neubauer and Joe Pasquale, thank you for being part of this tonight. Stay smoky.